true. All of it.
Now, that's different, because in the first trailer it was the dark side, a Jedi. It's true. This time it's the Force, and what I think it really is the Force, the dark side, a Jedi. It's true. All of it. I think that's just a continuation of that dialogue. And again, this would lend truth to the assumption that Rey is unaware that she herself is Force sensitive. Because again, we're looking at a galaxy that doesn't quite understand the mythology of the Force in the same way that we did. You know, history repeated itself. By the time that we worked through the prequels and got to the height of the Empire and A New Hope, you know, the Force had gone, you know, their light has gone out of the universe. The Force had become something of a myth. Nobody really believed it anymore. You know, it's not unlike the Denzel Washington movie, the post-apocalyptic one. Why can't I think of the name of it right now? Book of Eli. It's not unlike Book of Eli. Love that movie, by the way. But Book of Eli was a really interesting take in that people didn't know about the Bible and their religion anymore. And Gary Oldman's character wanted, you know, he had the only Bible and had to keep the blind girl there, right? Because they only had he had the copy. That's right. But he was afraid of anybody finding out about religion because then he would go and lose his power. I think that's how it went. So anyway, my point being is that much like in the Book of Eli, the Book of Eli, the story of God in the Bible had gone out in a post-apocalyptic world, and here there was a circumstance where the Force has gone out of the universe, and so Rey doesn't even realize that she's Force sensitive. Probably always thought that she was special, not unlike Anakin when he was a little kid, right?
Hope is not lost today. It is found.
Now, many people are speculating that could possibly be Maz Kanata again, maybe towards the end of the movie. After some big things go down, that at the end of the film, you know, she's basically saying, you know, it could almost be some final words of the movie that while everything looks dire, you know, hope is not lost today, it's been found. I mean, again, echoing a New Hope. This trailer is going to get worn out on YouTube because I'm going to keep watching it over and over and over again. I mean, again, every new bit that we find out about this film, there's nothing that hasn't felt right. It all just feels right.
My Nerd World.
Now, this is a little bit later in the evening that I'm recording the final portion of the podcast. I had to stop it and go take care of some things around the house. But what's interesting, and I'm actually glad that I waited to finish the podcast because I've had a little bit of time to sit on the trailer and doing the podcast, and I actually just got done watching the trailer a couple times with my son Logan, and we just went back and watched back-to-back the new Japanese international trailer that we just went through, and I went back and watched the official full trailer, and I'll be honest, I'm a little bit torn. My initial reaction was that I liked the international trailer more, but I think it's because the international trailer gave me more of the storyline. Watching the trailer that we covered extensively a couple of weeks ago, I guess it would have been episode 24 now, after the Monday Night Football trailer, going back and watching it again, that trailer is crafted better. It flows better. It serves its purpose. And in drawing fans in who maybe aren't like me, the new trailer isn't edited as well and isn't crafted as well, the new international trailer, as that original one. And it's really interesting because when I was talking to my buddy Rascal this morning, when I played him the new trailer, his instinctive reaction was that the international Japanese trailer was exponentially better than the first one. And I made the comment, I said, that Monday Night Football trailer wasn't made for fans like us. It was great, but it wasn't made for fans like you and me. It was made for the average fan who may not even be aware there's a new Star Wars movie coming out, and so it doesn't have to give those plot points. The international trailer serves a different purpose, and it provided us with a little bit more information. And I think in terms of content, I like that today's international trailer better. In terms of just a trailer and flow, it's clear that there was a lot more time and attention placed to that full trailer that we got a few weeks ago. It's interesting to note, and I'm going to be curious to find out what the reality is, but the full trailer that was released was not John Williams. That was basically hired guns doing John Williams for a trailer, and that's fine. I don't have any issue with that. We'll hear the John Williams score, and from what we know, he's still scoring the movie right now as we speak. And it appears that might be the case for this new trailer, but with this international trailer, we're getting new music and music that I don't recognize, and so I'm really curious to see what people say about the music in this new international trailer. But it was really interesting watching them back to back. But again, I was reminded just the focus on every single frame of that you watch in these trailers. There's no doubt in my mind that Star Wars. Well, I don't want to say that. In my opinion, I don't want to say there's no doubt, because there's always doubt, right? I think Star Wars The Force Awakens is going to be the movie that all other Star Wars films will be compared to. Almost to the point where I kind of wish that J.J. Abrams wasn't doing the first in the 3-part trilogy, but maybe that's the genius of it. Maybe he sets the table and we just keep getting fed, and that's all that needs to happen. I like the way they've laid this out. Rian Johnson, who did Looper, and a movie that I really enjoyed, which actually feels, in my opinion, a lot like A New Hope. If you watch Looper, it has that pacing and the visual style that is. If you're comparing it to a Star Wars movie, if that's even possible, I mean, he had no idea he was going to be directing a Star Wars film. But the way that he did practical effects and his camera angles and the pacing of the movie, the closest thing that you can compare to it is A New Hope. And as I've said in previous podcasts, bringing in Colin Trevorrow, who did such a magnificent job with Jurassic World and capturing what those original movies were, I think that's the perfect way to cap off this new trilogy. But again, I do think that Force Awakens is going to become the standard bearer for which all other Star Wars movies, whether it's the saga films or the anthology films, are compared to. So, I would encourage you to go and watch the trailers, the trailers back to back, and see which one you like more. I know I'm going to be watching them later on tonight after me and my son watch another movie. So, let's go here real quick. I just have enough time to get into this. It's this is part of the reason why I love Star Wars, and this is such a tragic story that unfortunately isn't over yet. And so, it's a little bit difficult to talk about. I actually discussed it quite a bit on my radio show today. But in some heartening news this morning, Disney granted a wish by a 32-year-old Daniel Fleetwood. He was a Texan. He is a Texan. He's still with us, suffering from a very rare form of cancer. It's called spindle cell sarcoma. And doctors did not expect him, or don't expect him, to make it till Christmas. It's actually somewhat of a miracle that he's still with us now. The Force Awakens release, of course, is December 17th for him. Daniel's story has garnered a huge amount of interest and goodwill, especially as he is now in hospice care at home. Daniel told his local news station that the hope of watching Star Wars The Force Awakens is what kept him motivated to stay alive. It caused Twitter and Facebook to explode. Hashtag Force for Daniel, encouraging Disney to give him an advanced screening. Most of the actors, John Boyega, Daisy Ridley, Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, all tweeted out. Peter Mayhew all tweeted out in support of Daniel Fleetwood. Daniel's been a massive fan since he was 8 years old, and he regularly camped outside cinemas days before newer films were released to ensure that he got the first ticket. The good news is that his dream came true. J.J. Abrams called Daniel on Wednesday and informed him that his wish was going to be granted, and Disney executives turned up at his home with an unedited copy of Star Wars The Force Awakens. Daniel's wife, Ashley, says that he loved the movie. She can't say much more because she had to sign the non-disclosure agreement, the confidentiality agreement. She says they watched on their own TV, but it was played on Disney's equipment to make sure the movie didn't get jacked. Her update on her Facebook page said this: "To all our wonderful supporters, friends, family, and awesome strangers, Daniel's final dream was just granted." Today, the wonderful Disney, Bad Robot, and Lucasfilm teams made his dream come true. Daniel just finished watching an unfinished version of Star Wars The Force Awakens. We'd like to thank the awesomely talented J.J. Abrams for calling us yesterday to tell us Daniel was getting his wish granted. Lastly, I would like to thank all the amazing people who helped make this happen. May the Force be with you. And then she put a smile emoticon, hashtag Force for Daniel, up on their Facebook page. The film's director, again, gave Daniel a call before the movie, before they rolled the movie, which Ashley says really made Daniel's day. It's an amazing story, and you pray that there was some miracle that could happen with Daniel, but at least his wish here was granted. And I'm a firm believer that when faced with adversity like this, we find a way to endure. And it really is the power of the fandom that was able to make this happen, to make Bad Robot and Lucasfilm aware of this individual's wish to see this movie. And it's been a really amazing week seeing the outpouring of emotion for Daniel Fleetwood. And what a fantastic way to cap the week, and certainly more important than seeing the new international trailer, which we're all celebrating today. So just an awesome thing, and why I'm a big fan of Star Wars. All right, hey, thanks for hanging out for another podcast. We'll be back again next week. Who knows? Maybe we'll have more footage to talk about then, since apparently there are more trailers out there. So until we talk next week, may the Force be with you. Always.
My Nerd World.